So exciting.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Black Female Entrepreneur Village Trade of Heritage and Exhibition.
Thanking you for coming. We hope you enjoyed what you saw. We know you would have, as many of you told us. But one of the best things is that we are happy that we're able to serve our community, we're able to serve Greenwich, we're able to serve the world and bring Africa to you in this modern contemporary era.
It has been an amazing, let's say, 10 days. That's right. 10 days. The feedback, guys, the feedback. So I'll show you. I think, can we just move it on to the feedback? Let's see what the feedback is all about. The feedback. The feedback was amazing. The feedback was amazing. So can you read some few feedback?
One says it was a beautiful show. Beautiful, especially in ceramics. Another one says creative and truly artistic, depicting African history. And it should be to the global audience. That was Jerome. Another one said fantastic exhibition with educative narrative. I hope some schools will take advantage and take advantage of this opportunity. Another one said very colorful, what a colorful, positive space. Beautiful and peaceful. And they said, thank you for all your creations. Expressive and ecologist. Another one said, great work. Despite all the explanations and all the different names, you explored the vulnerability with your vocabulary and you used works that exceptionally that people will remember. And they said they want to thank us as well. Another one talks here about you presented a very great exhibition, very good. And they're fortunate to be able to be part of it. And they enjoyed the afternoon here. And they hope that we're going to do more of this great art again. Another one said they enjoyed the art so much. And the work was very colorful. So there's this colorful that they talk about. And the key was the history that was attached to each piece of the work.
Amazing, amazing. You know, over here, we have almost over, almost 200. More than 200 that left the comments. Overall, we have over 900 to 1,000 people that actually came in. I'm just going to read some of the amazing work that was the award. There was a lovely exhibition, lovely colorful design, very beautiful, very wonderful, very impressive. Some said breath of fresh air. Yeah. Said that. This is a great show. Far more extensive and more formative venue. So the venue is amazing.
Yes.
It's a big shout out to Big Pensai Studio. Fantastic exhibition. So they would like to visit more. Talk about the joy of actually entering and seeing the heritage. Great artwork. Very beautiful, interesting exhibition. Let me read this down once. What a different vibe. Coming in here, life connecting color, tradition, heritage, celebrating acknowledgement of the impact of colonization with more joy in the work. See some in Woolwich, love the tapestry signs. Have a great and continued the exhibition. And the first was a very informative and educational artwork. Guys, it has been a show for different.
Some people say things like this. They say, why is it only here? It should be all over London.
I thought it's not.
Another person said that it was too beautiful to be hidden in this corner.
No.
Another one said that, how can only people enjoy it? We
Yeah.
need to see more of this.
Yeah.
And an Englishman said that, no. Everybody needs to know about this. So you that can do something, take us to that level.
And that is why today we want to use this opportunity, because we didn't have the time to actually explain some of the artwork, some of the great piece of work, why we did it, and the story behind it. So this evening, before we wrap up and pack everything back to where it's supposed to be, till our next exhibition, myself and Asan has decided to give you a rundown of what this exhibition is all about. And we're going to take piece after piece. Follow us.
Follow us.
This joy for everyone that actually came here to have the opportunity to read through some amazing work. What do you think about this?
I think this was beautiful because we went into explaining in depth, and then it helped people to understand. So the artist can be everywhere. So people will read this, look at the picture, and follow through. So it was very, very beautiful because this detailed everything to do with the work. It took them piece by piece. And it broke everything down, the inspiration, the tradition, the culture, the inspiration behind it, the collaboration. So I want us to talk about it.
So guys, before we get to the work, my name is Lucy Isaiah. I am the creator and the lead artist of this exhibition, and also I'm the founder of Black Female Entrepreneur Village. And my co-creator, Asan, is going to explain and give you a detail about what he does.
Asan the artist, and I started this great exhibition. And I work with ceramics, I also am a glasses that drugs, and this is our work. This work that we started, we know that we them. So this was a unique and different from bringing the masses to another level and bringing you guys as a solution to enjoy the taste of what you do.
Thank you all for actually listening to. Like you know, I'm a specialized in Africa Afro-centric accessory for jewelry, using fabric to tell story, using fabric to make accessory, and also a designer. I'm a self-taught artist. A lot of my work was done through my inspiration, through some of the things I learned from my mom. I have the privilege to also I went to it used to call the British College to do clothes making and design. And I've also gone to other colleges to do something, accessory work around jewelry and using fabric to express in terms of bringing out the best of African great work. Like we say, the fabric of Africa tells a lot of story, and they're now making it into a story itself of tapestry, bring the joy to it. I'm going to start with the artwork here. Asan did the drawing.
This was one of the first ones we did. So I did the drawing and I did the painting. And we had this concept together. We downloaded and we talked about it and said, let us collaborate and do something different. And when I finished doing that, then Lucy came in with her added African centric, and then she now decided to take it from there.
So this piece of work here, actually, the story behind this piece of work is to actually showcase who the black man, the African man is, the black man is. Most of the time, people see the black man as not a role model. They stereotype them, put a lot of signage on top of them and said, this is who a black man is. But we want to bring it down to what our heritage used to be. The black man as a warrior, to take his community, as a hunter, feed his family. The black man is brave, is bold, and is here to actually give back to the society and also play a role model. That is why we don't put any attire. We don't say my brother, Tim suit. We want you to see the black person, this real person, what it is, because yeah.
Because simple as footstep has been able to attack any situation in Paris of something. Yeah. It's able to attack any animal who wants to come down and bring them. And it's able to really protect everybody around him. Both the family, the wife, the children, and everything. And you can see his face, and you can see him shielding the sun from him, and he has the protective element without anything is attacking him, he can use that to defend himself. So it's a complete man. That's what.
And that's what the black man still. For any other concept that we've heard about a black man, when you look at this, you see this is a typical African black man, and this is what he does. Yeah. And then the accessory was done by myself, Susan had the new work, which were required to actually distinguish traits, distinguish the structure. And I did assessment with the raffia, with the fabric, with the necklace, the bead on his hair, and everything. And the school that this is a typical African man. I hope you enjoy that piece of work. Over here we have a print. This is another powerful designer that used Anna. You can see I have some of the pieces on my hand. She used Anna to actually tell story. And this is one of the reasons why we actually invited her to join us. If you go back to the ancient days, you got to hear during the slavery, a lot of the slaves that was taken on the Atlantic were left in India. And some of them are still there. I would believe that we also give honor to some of those slaves that was left in India that are still living there. We decided to collaborate with some Asian artists to actually put some flavor into this work, because this sort of artistic work actually complements into this piece of work. This one here is also for the African elegant woman. You can see she's amazing. A pure lady, you can see the curve, you can see this, the beauty that comes with it. Myself, Susan, also did the basket. She carried the fruit of basket. The necklace and the accessory was done by the clothing, and all the bead that goes across it. And as an artist, it's lovely sketch.
Yeah, sketch work and the drawing and design, and then that basically the beads on the legs and the beads around the hand, and etc. The whole work complements what I do because she did it to the African friends. So we see from the African side of the African, the Asian side of the fusion, and you can look at it. The Susan doing the top of the woman, the bra and the fruits with a lot of knitting work, and she did the face as well. So you can see the detail and the intricacy. But you can see what Lucy did around the necklace and the stuff. And you can see her holding like a modern African contemporary, but very elegant stuff in her fingers and stuff. So you can see all the work going. So this woman, she embodies the African woman. She carries herself gracefully.
Yeah.
What we call fast, we don't call it fast, we call it plump. Call it beautiful plump.
Yeah.
Yes, what you guys don't understand. We like the women to have something, not be too skinny that the women blow them off. You see, at the end of the day, you have these in every side. The big boy, the small, all sides, all sides are women, all sides are beautiful, all sides have the same people that appreciate it more. But together, that's the complementary that makes the whole thing.
Yeah. I know you will still have a few more experience that I've looked to art, creative design. And down here, up over here, I'm going to talk about the African thoughts. You did the sketch work on this.
Yeah, I did the sketch work on this unit. And because I also work with clay and so drawing this out, I expressed a different side of me. I expressed the painting of the class, the elegance of the art, the design, the different color, the collaboration, the painting, the pattern, a lot of different things to do. And so when you see this, it's one of the best painting I've done of the book. And there's much to come. But then you can see where Lucy comes in with the fabric and you can see where Happy does the piece of that stuff over there. I can see Susan right at the top where she hits the edge of the top of the glass. So it's a complete four of us in one piece of work.
So this pot also symbolize the African traditional pot. So the African traditional pot, you can see when you go back home, you see that to have the water cold, to have the water very cold, we normally use the clay pot, and you can see the size and the shape. When they dig the ground, they put the pot in there and they put water in. So and what this does, it actually helps to preserve the water, make the water to be cold and fresh, and also it's also being used to also preserve food.
Yes.
So this pot is a very useful and very important. There were different pots.
Yeah.
There were a lot of different pots from the African clay. We decided to pick this particular because of the symbol, because of what it is, and also bring out the beauty. You can see in between the triangle bit where Susan actually did the wood sketching. This is a 3D dimension. The work you see here is very rare. It's not something that you see all the time. You have 3 or 4 artists working on a piece of work. So you have myself using the fabric to accessorize. Then you have Aki using her Asian trade to actually bring out a great design into it. And then you have Sudan with the wood just all connected together. And this actually bring one of the best artifacts. Now, over here is the African calabash. Hassan did a lot of sketch work. Can you tell us about the sketch work you did?
The sketch work, what I did is, I did it drawing. And what you see here, the outer line here, done by Susan. She followed the line of my sketching. And with my sketching, I drew the calabash into pattern. And every pattern I drew, Lucy came up with a fabric, very detailed. So when Lucy was doing all the fabric, everywhere I made a line with a different fabric. So you have the fabric telling the story of the drawing and trying to paint a picture of what I drew, step by step, face by face, with a different fabric, different color. And then she went on into putting different texture. So you have the wood. Then she went on into using wood like a paintbrush, using wood like a drawing. And she had the stitches running through it. And she used different colors of glue, different color of fabric, different color of things. And it all brings everything together to become one calabash. It's a mystery. But the beauty of the artwork is that when I do mine is hidden at the back. And this is all comes on the top. But there's a complementary, just like the structure of the wall. The wall holds up the building. And you cannot see the outside. It's essential to the drawing holds of the structure. Then loosen out complements it by bringing in this. And then bringing in this, we're able to give it a richer and more fuller life before habit moves into cover the painting. This is what you're saying.
So this piece of work, I am very passionate about. And then we get some people saying we need to see why we need to see the dog. And I said, that's the vision we're gonna. So this piece of work shows that Africa is the basket and the treasure of the world.
Yes.
You have the food, you have the mineral resources. So each line can see different fabric, different design, different treasure. This symbolizes the gold, the silver, the uranium, the petrol, everything, the foods. It tells you what we give back to the world.
Yes.
This is why you have different patterns. Because when Hassan actually did the sketch work on it, there was a different pattern of it. Each pattern represents what we give back to the world. You can tell that Africa is the basket of mineral resources and food to the world.
When you look at it from that point of view, the basket itself, when you talk about the earth and the ground, when they go to the market or they harvest them, inside this big calabash, you put things like the orange, the lemon, the granite, the pineapple, the mangoes, the fruits, the carrots, everything can go right into that calabash. So that calabash actually symbolizes and carries the rich minerals that come from the earth. It also carries the rich food that come from the earth. Everything to do with Africa is called.
Yeah. So this is one of my, it's an amazing, and this is actually because a lot of times about it because of the detail in it. And you can see different patterns, different design, different textures. So this is amazing piece of work. Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And over here, what can we say, Hassan?
We talk about the reign of the king from a city called Benin, the great king of those days. We also talk about the fact that we know much about that because we are close to that. So because we know a lot about the history of the Benin people, the art, the king, the life, and we're part of it in sense that we're the modern day and we're creating the art that's going to be called as a constant of years to come. But when we look back on the history and we see the kingship, the throne, the setup, the rulership, and what it stands for. In our own time, when you look at our work, we carry that same aura, that same glory, and that same grace, because we're from the same grave. So we call vendors now, it's moved on. But you see, even when you call it Edo and Benin and Delta, whatever you call it, it's all in one, as in the history. So there's a lot of things that come out of this, but because Lucy has done a play on it, I want Lucy to go deeper into it.
So the Benin Empire, like you all know, the Benin Empire it's one of the oldest and one of the it's advanced empire. If you go over and talk about Benin Empire, the Benin Kingdom, you have the Benin War.
The Benin War is actually bigger and greater than the China War. But these are not being talked about. So it is important that we go and read about history. Yeah, it's the invasion of the Benin Empire. Benin Empire stretches all the way to West Africa. Oba Ovonwe has done so much work in terms of his time of leadership, his time of reign, and we have the honor to actually display some of this play. And one of the reasons why we actually add this to the exhibition is about talking about imperialism and also colonization, how that has impacted not only on artwork, but also impact on our today Africa. So we decided that it's important that we raise the awareness of this colonization, imperialism, and how it's affecting our community. Even right now, where we live here, and also those that are in those in diaspora and this platform, we need to look about how this has impacted, and going back to the UNDP of Africa living in diaspora, how it is important that the government talking about reparation. Reparation is not because you cannot pay reparation. Reparation, there's not amount of money that you can put on the price of reparation because of the damage that it has done to the community. But we have to look at the wider support both to the Black and Africans living and also our Caribbean sisters living in Europe, living in the Caribbean, living in Africa. There needs to be a great support. There needs to be a two-way round, not just looking at today, what we have to do. Education for our children, the support economic-wise, the artwork that we're talking about. We also have to look about job opportunity. We have to also look into the needs to also link it back to Africa, and also looking at what is happening in today Africa and how can this help. I was speaking a lot with some of our Caribbean sisters, and some of them actually doing their DNA tests, finding to know where the roots come from. And it is a shock to see that when you look at those DNA tests, there's no DNA test, there's no data from Africa. So part of the reparation should be going into the need for government to actually, the UK government that actually participated in colonization, participated in imperialism, to go back to Africa and also pay for DNA tests. Not so that a lot of Africa in Africa should actually do the research in the data so that people can be able to trace back their roots. Because that is number one, that is key. And also looking about those where the slave trade take place. There need to be more education, there need to be investment on that. Why I'm saying that, I'm going to bring this down to this area. So we actually did the Oba. This actually symbolized that when Oba was sent an exile, that was an exit. Just imagine. The queen was a palace, was left. This does a lot of damage to the community, and this all this kind of things need to become to school. Like someone was saying that some of these things a lot of children don't know, and they are from the African descent. There's a need for collaboration of culture. There's a need for education of culture. There's a need for co-pilots, whereby some of this history can be told.
What you said to do with just imagine the principal as empty. It makes sense in the sense that if you look at it, it's not empty, and King Charles takes over, and the progression continues. And Williams is waiting on the side. So we need that in Africa. The areas where it has stagnated us, we need help, we need support, we need funding, whatever it is to get us to move along to be better society as a nation, where the resources are taken out to the Western world. We need something to put back to help the country to grow up better. I think that will help. Yeah, going on.
And what we see, we make a very strong emphasis on state imperialism, state colonization, forgotten African soldier is very important. The Commonwealth, I think we just had a Commonwealth summit. We would like to see what the outcome is. Because another Commonwealth meeting, and we don't know what the outcome is. What does the Commonwealth contribute to Africans and those that are? Yeah.
There's ones at the end of that, but the common is a big problem.
Yeah.
We need to work around this common.
Yeah. And the forgotten soldiers. So as we move to November, when it became November, this is personal to me because my great uncle was in War, and he was for the British. My father also served the British Navy. as a marine engineer, and I am the third generation. So my granddad has contributed, my father has contributed, and I contributed. 20 years of military work is not easy. So when people say, oh, where is home? So I think there's a need, there's a high need for the forgotten African soldier, not just a plan, not just a plan. We want to see support down to Africa. For those African soldiers, those Commonwealth soldiers, the Caribbean soldiers that have fought for this country, they need to be acknowledged, they need to be remembered. As you, their family can be invited. When you do the memorial service, invite their family. Invite them. Do something, celebrate them, because it's not easy. Yeah, exactly. It's not easy. So that is why we dedicated this piece of work to the Commonwealth soldiers and the forgotten African soldiers that fought for World War I, World War II.
The great things that
And the great things they've done.
Okay. I want to talk to you a bit about ceramic and clay and the work we do. This one happened to be inside me thinking about the black woman, the black African woman, and the head. And so anybody is black, it doesn't matter whether you're black in America or black in the Caribbean or black in South Africa, it doesn't matter how long as you're black. You might not be as black as me, but you're blacker than me, but you're like me. It doesn't make a difference. But that head, this is the braiding of the head. Talking about the story of when they say you're black. But really, actually, you're not black, you're brown. And when you look at it, you have to go deep to see what I mean by brown. So when you see it from that point of view, then you now begin to understand. I'm Asan the artist, and I'm telling the story of going deeper, going through the colors, scratching and going beyond the skin. And so you find out that we're not really black, we're brown. It's the head that is black. And that's the story behind it. This one happens to be an elegant little vase, but it's made out of beauty. You can see the shine and you can see the pattern. And you can also see all around the side, the beauty of it, the craft work that goes into it. Very delicate, the shape is mysterious. I try to do something different that is not like the normal, like what everybody else does. But this is celebrating Africa, even in the modern era. And this will look good on your show class. With this one, it's a different kind of vase. It's raw in its essence, like the clay that you pick from Benin, the kingdom of that clay. The ground is red like this, the clay is red like this. So I make it from that type of clay. They call it terracotta. And after making it and shaping it, I crack out the edges to tell you that in life, the crack doesn't take away from the beauty. Instead, it enhances and brings more to the beauty. So this work is an art piece on its own. It's something that when you have it in your house and you put it on a display piece and you shine your light on it, the beauty will come out. Anything that light shines on, it brings out the glory of it. And that's what this artwork is about.
Great piece of work, Asan. I really love this piece because the clay, if you go to Africa, very go to the Benin Empire, you see this yellow clay. The red clay.
It's red clay,
Red clay. Yeah. And the color, that's what they used to do, clay house. Because it's not those bricks they use there. Yeah. So even the bricks, what they want the color? It's the right one. It's a very solid bricks, and we're blessed to have this clay. And over here, I'm going to talk about the Woolwich High Street and African Tapestry. This was part of the tapestry we did as part of the heritage on the Woolwich High Street. So we decided to tell, because of the growing population of African community in Greenwich, we decided to tell the story. During Woolwich is a melting point of culture from our eyes, from our face, from our story, from our view. And we say, when you tell story backward, they say taste by moonlight. And we actually decided to cut the moon and say, let's tell the story about Woolwich in the moon. And nothing so inspirational. Doing this project, I was really fascinated. It made me to love Woolwich more. Honestly, it made me, because there's a lot of hidden treasure in Woolwich. Sometimes we tend not to know our community, but doing this work, it made me to know that the Woolwich High Street used to be a very community space. It is owned by local people that have all the shop by the high street, and it's a family shop, and it keep the community going. They know each other. And now looking at some of the high street that actually is dying, and I think it's high time that the government actually look at involving local traders to fuel their high streets, because it's very important, because it keeps the place going. And the fascinating part again that Woolwich High School used to have a radio station.
Yeah.
I was blown away. There used to be the bus 40 on it's a tram, and also had this bus take you all the way to Thamesmead. And over there you see the Woolwich Market over there. It used to be Woolwich is a military
for Royal Arsenal.
Yeah. So
how did the football club Arsenal was still here?
Was before it moved. Yeah, so Woolwich is a very fascinating town. Have a good heritage. Some of the old shops that have left Woolwich and some of the new ones that have gone. You still have the Percy Ingo. Some of the old names that used to be there. Let me see. Smart, Wills and Son. We have Wilson Shakespeare. We have Bedder Home. We have Rag. We also have Star and Garden. Then you see the radio station.
And the big NLS that's moved away from the high street.
Yes, they moved that. Yeah. So all this, we just actually, and the people of Woolwich.
Yeah, the diversity.
The diversity. There are people from different
backgrounds.
Yeah. Walks of life. And it's quite beautiful. Guys, this is
something about it, you know.
Yeah.
I see you already got Elizabeth line in there already.
Yeah, already. It's both the old and the new Woolwich was actually.
I can see that there's a lot of diversity. I can see the flow.
Yeah.
So I see when the moon turns and the shade and the weather.
Yeah.
Time and it's getting dark.
Yes.
I see it in the fabric.
Yeah.
I can see how we bring it up from the root of Africa at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bring it up to the great part of Africa and even Nigeria. And I can see that you have a quote kind of.
Yeah, it's a quote, yeah.
Say something about
will
thyself to try and not to fail is to fulfill effort. It's not a feeble, and it's not laziness. Yeah. I just thought that was amazing. And when I look at it here, the black female, I just say, wow, this is beautiful. You capture something very different. There's something about how you do things here. And you know, I like this one. It has the effect of typography for the African thing. And you say something here. And something disappears in here and comes out here. What are you really saying here?
So what we're saying is it's about faith. We said know your words.
Wow.
Know your words.
There was something different about
and never give up.
I like that.
So sometimes people don't know their words.
That's why a lot of people like this piece. I see them, they always stand so much close to this. And I used to wonder why, but now I understand.
You can see there's a lot of details story. If you actually go into it, it gives you some word of wisdom, some word of advice. It's beautiful.
Oh, what a piece. Beautiful.
And this amazing work here was done by Fatima.
Okay.
Fatima did this beautiful art where they say the spiral of love. And this is she did this I think when she was 9 or 10. Wow. So this is very impressive. Very impressive for a young child to actually go. This is what we do at the Black Female.
You can see how she captures the heart and how she wraps it around. And how the circle of life goes around it. So she's telling a big story here, and she's talking about how love comes in a spiral. Yeah. And the spiral starts from there and goes on there.
Yeah.
It's a very, very deep thing for a child. See that she's thinking.
She's thinking. And that's what we said. Artwork is creativity. Yeah. Get your children involved in art. It tells a big story about them. It develop them, bring out the inner person in them. Exactly. This is what we do at Black Female. We actually encourage a lot of young people to get involved in art. Because they say creativity helps the mindset. It nurtures the mind. Exactly. It nurtures the well-being. Exactly. It helps the brain to actually to relax.
And to create.
Yes.
And to flourish. And to bring out what is really inside you.
Exactly.
So you can see both in the Western world when they do it in England and America, how they use the art for their own culture, and how we use it in Africa for our own culture, and the South Americans use it for their own culture. So the diversity of the whole world is that everybody can express their culture, their country from their art. And that's what we are doing. And so that's why it's an African exhibition. That's why it's Black history. So we are doing diversity and inclusion right here.
Right here. No other place again to do it.
Listen, I like this fabric. What do you say about this?
So you see, this is just a plain wood, and if they tell you that the African fabric tells a lot of story. Yeah. So you said about the story of it's a tie and dye. It shows the artwork. It shows the ancient days. It also tells about how dynamic. When it comes to African print actually come a lot with a lot of colors
and messages. Yeah.
And again, we decided to use it on the wood because sometimes people try to see, like, Christmas is coming. How do you customize your house?
Yeah.
And they also want to have the African flow.
Africanize your house.
Yeah. So guys, this is why we can do this for you. If you want any Afrocentric, we come down, We survey your house and we walk through with you. Okay, design art for you, and we can get some African prints, wrap it at that will actually blend into your cotton, your sofa, and then
and even cushions.
and the cushion, and you get a free flow. So when we go to that side, you see what some of the cushion can do. So this is why we did those, just to showcase what the artwork actually did.
Okay, I want to talk again about more of my ceramic work I do here. With this one, it so happens to be that the color is different. It's got pink in it, but it also got the purple beauty in it. The idea behind this one, if you look at it, is trying to capture beauty in a different way. If you look on the inside, you can see that the pattern on the inside is different from the pattern on the body. So it's like live. Your body on the outside is the skin, but on the inside, what we have is something different from the skin. We have the blood, we have the muscles. They are different. So the same thing with art. You have the outside of it, and you have the inside of it. But you see, every one of them tell a story, and every one of them, people like one and the other different. People like this because of his pattern, because of the journey, because of the texture, because of the color that is very earthy. And then you have this one that is very old and rustic, and people like it for its own nature. But then you have this one that I did on the wheel that has its own beauty in a different way. And you can see me and Hassan the artist, and you can see the beauty of the work itself. And then you can look at this one and think to yourself, what is this? This is it, the Grandmaster. This is the big one. And this one has a journey coming down. Coming down is a flow. And I try to capture light and darkness. So the top is the light and the bottom is the darkness. And I try to capture a story. And I try to talk about it, how things change, how weather change, how situation change, how design change. And I try to tell you how the things come down little by little. And I try to show you how, if you look on the inside, how it goes all the way down like ridges, going down like the farmland, how it goes down, how the pattern goes down. So I built into that, taking my time to build that slowly. And so the idea behind it is that he has patterns there, he has patterns here, like this, at circles of life of the tree, and he has different patterns here. Everything is saying something. And what it's trying to say is this: diversity and inclusion is what I brought into this. And when I bring this into it, I'm telling many stories. There's always a story in every single one of them. I will go deeper and I'll tell you more, but that's how it will come. But I want you to enjoy this for now. And then I want to talk about this one, and I'm going to bring Lucy into this one. With this one, the Commonwealth Coronation Tapestry. I love it so much. There's something about it. You know, we spoke about the Commonwealth. Now we're talking about the coronation. This is the glory side, the royal side. You can see the crown there of our king now. God bless our king. But then I want Lucy to talk about it because there's something about it that I love, but I want Lucy to go deeper. The way Lucy say it is different. I want you to hear from.
So this comes to gentrification.
Wow.
So the whole story behind it from different parts is about how things change. People use gentrification to take from the common people.
Wow.
So if you come over here, you see the Commonwealth Gate. The Commonwealth, this tapestry was done during the coronation. So that's what we call the Commonwealth Coronation Tapestry. But we decided to put some elements of our artistic skill into it and also bring some message. Every of our artwork has a message. So one of the key highlights of the message, the theme around it is gentrification. You see that happening all the time. So when you see I talk about the Commonwealth Games, and I look at the number of Commonwealth countries, you know, Africa, 54 African countries, wow. Majority of them are in the part of the Commonwealth, and they also play the Commonwealth game. Yeah. But what's actually struck us is that even with a great number of Africans in the Commonwealth game, it's only one African country that have hosted the Commonwealth game, which is Ghana.
Yeah, which is not good enough.
It's just not good enough. Someone was saying something, oh, maybe there's some twist to it. We can't tell. No matter what the twist is, the reason, the aim of this thing is to actually build other countries. Yeah. I believe when you host game, sport, Olympic is made to actually help other countries to grow from one stage to the other. Yeah. They should be doing more so that more African countries can host. You can't be in a group of friends and you don't have a say. Yeah. For me, that is how it looks like. Yes. So what like every time you celebrate birthday, we come to your house. And then celebrate it, we come to your house. Everyone will celebrate, come to your house. Why would we use another house? Exactly. I think the people of the nation, whenever you bring those kind of things to them, it brings the Commonwealth there, it brings the people who spend money, their stories in the nation.
all kind of things happen. It brings out a lot of things. You learn about the culture, you learn about the people.
Definitely.
I think we need to do more about that.
And at the end of the year, you see the crowd, and then you see the people, you see everything. This tell you that the contribution of the Commonwealth to the crown.
Yeah.
So the gold, the diamond, if you see that king crown, what actually constitutes most of the diamond, the gold, all of them were taken from Commonwealth country.
Yeah.
So we contribute so much,
Yeah.
so much
resources,
not just to the bigger world, labor power
from ancient time
until
now.
Yeah.
I'm developing in those times, still developing.
It will be nice to see what someone will say, you are here.
Yeah.
I'm here. It's not just that's not enough. So we want to see, it has to be a two-way
traffic.
Traffic.
Yeah, it's not two-way traffic. You can't just be going only one direction.
Yeah.
You have to be able to go the other direction.
Definitely.
We have to be able to get something.
I know one year we decided to put an highlight on Keybrook, the old Keybrook estate. You can see here, this used to be what the old Keybrook estate used to be. A block of flat with people, and we have the posh one. Posh Keybrook estate.
Yeah.
And now, I'm not saying there's some people that are moving. This is what you see.
Yeah.
So you have the typical tradition, the continuity of the tradition, and the advance of the tradition.
And then if you're not careful, you're advancing much faster, will fall out of the picture.
So it's just the way, the inequality constantly in the community.
Yeah.
And we decided to raise it because a lot of a few of our members used to live in the old ferry estate, and they tell us the story. And we thought, why not actually include it in this way?
It makes sense.
We're not against development. We're not against what's it called, regeneration. But the regeneration should include the community, not one-sided. Not when they do the regeneration, majority of the people that are being made for cannot even afford. Become unaffordable.
Yeah, mortgage everything's too high.
Oh, goodness me. May God help us.
Yes, we've got a bit. But I want us to talk about the black entrepreneur that the black people have in village. Such a very, very, very powerful thing. How much the name and what black female has contributed to Greenwich, to the whole of London, to UK, has been tremendous. I can say because I've seen it first and again. But not just that. The black female keep giving, and the giving never seems to stop. But the question would now be, how many of you, because so many of you have passed through one way or the other, you have been taught, you have been inspired, you have been helped, you have been lifted up in one way or the other. So now the question will now be, how do we appreciate the black women? How do we support them? How do we fund them? How do we help them to reach higher heights and do more in the community? That will be up to you guys.
Guys, thank you, Asa, for actually introducing me into this conversation. Black female entrepreneur Greenwich. I was telling someone how we started this. And as an entrepreneur myself, I remember I was healed for a long time. And when I decided to getting better, I wanted to get back to work. And when you go to get back to work, you're not gonna lie. You're gonna tell people this is my health issue. I found out that I'm not getting anywhere. Anywhere you apply, people have something to say. And again, I was still going to the hospital. I was still very, very healed. Good big thanks to NHS. They've been a great support, and that's why we want to keep the NHS going.
Yes.
Today that I'm strong, I'm here, and I still trying, even though I still have ongoing health issues, I still undergo treatment. Without NHS, I wouldn't have survived. And I hold that to them. And I'm telling you, one of this tapestry will be going to one of the hospital. So one of our tapestry will be dedicating it this Christmas to one of the hospital, because without them keeping me, I won't be here to do this work.
We need them to have something.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, like I said, I couldn't figure myself, and I said, okay, let me use my creative and go into business. Trying to get myself into the business was very, very tricky. They keep sending you there. It was just chaotic. I get frustrated, and I started attending different workshops, started running small sewing classes. It got to a stage where I decided to go to attend an event at the mayor's office, and it was for black women in business. Somebody actually nominated me to go. I don't even know who is that person, but somebody, and I got the invite, and I went in there. And one of the questions I asked during that, I said, I understand that there's a support out there, but sometimes you have to know that there are different black women that run business. There are the local African women that sponsor some of you, and the educated and letting ones that can understand A, Y to Z. But you still see some of us that came from Africa. We're not born here, bro. We're not born here. We don't understand the system. Sometimes some people say they don't hear what we are saying. The arts, So I said they need to. The business support need to be breakdown. Whereby you look at people from different backgrounds, how the system can be
useful to them.
Yes, and what can you do to actually break down some of those extra, to break down some of those support? And I couldn't find it. And when I started running the sewing class, I decided that a lot of people were in the same shoe like me. So when I said no, there should be a platform where we can all put our head together and get that support. And that's how Black Females actually came about. And I decided with some few other women in business, women that provide services, we come together and we created this organization to support Black community. Or people say, why is it for only Black people? The initiative is to look at the difficulties of the Black women, the Black African women are facing, and see how to support the Black and Caribbean women, to support the disadvantaged, to see how we can break down resources. But the wider mission is to support all women.
Exactly. That's what
So it's, because you can see some of our events, we have the Asia, we have the East European, we have the English people, everybody. People, the amount of people that come to Black Female to ask for support is uncountable. And over the years, I would say to you, from statistics, this is our 6 years of operating a Black Female. And honestly, we've supported more than 300 women. We've managed to register up to 200. And not just in Greenwich. We have people coming from Lewisham, Bromley, people coming from outside London, people coming from nearby that have actually asked for our support. We've gone further to extend our support because we believe if you don't have a peace of mind, if you have other social issues disturbing you, you cannot run a business.
Exactly.
People having housing issues, people having problems with their students, domestic violence. We went into immigration, we went to the extent to extend our services to help more people, whereby we have what is called a place to talk. A place to talk is where people come in and say whatever issue that is weighing them. And we have that every Thursday. We're running for 2 hours from 7 to 9. Sometimes we get up to 10 p.m. and it's online, provide services. One of our biggest challenges is actually funding. And again, it becomes very critical for us because we are here to create awareness for justice for all. So sometimes being a critic friend to some of the people on the high power give us a back slap.
They don't want to help.
They don't want to help because they believe that we talk too much.
Even if you talk too much, some people like it. And when you don't talk at all, some people don't like it. But then some people will listen to what you're saying, but they'll use it for their advantage. But then they'll say you're talking to them, but they got something from it. But then when you're quiet, they're not happy because they don't really know what you're thinking. So it's a very, very funny one.
Yes, but we have to stand on what we believe is right. Because at the end of the day, there are some people that the system are not offering that service. So there's some people left in the system, so we have to be here to do so. So our job is to actually help you with the skill and mindset to build up your business. Equip you with technique, strategy to grow your business from A to B, help you with branding, marketing, provide a place for you to sell your business. And we went further to actually give you support, even those that are not into business, those that are working, that are having problems with their work area. We give them support. We refer them to our legal team. We refer people to those that are having problems in their workplace. We also give opportunity for people that are also providing services, not just business, but if you provide services, the platform is welcome for you. We also look around. Now we offer services to men, but that's after that. So,
number one beneficiary.
So it's not just female, but also we also offer services.
One of the things I want to talk about is the way the Black women, especially Lucy, how they do the marketplace, how they help people to promote their business, how they give them the platform, how she runs. I think about it sometimes. I say to myself, if you fund something and the funding is not enough, what happens? The person has to pay from their own pocket. So really and truly, we need more funding and better funding, because no matter how much you fund them, doesn't really take her as far as she needs to go. So she always has them out of her pocket. So she's always behind on the cash, always lagging behind. So you can't really do much like that. So for you to make good impact, somebody has to really, really sponsor it without no strings attached, really, really support and carry us along, because the more people she can help depends on the more funding you give to her. So what she's trying to do as a person and as a team of people, it becomes very difficult, even looking at this grand exhibition, one of its type, never before done, the whole gallery full of African work. Trying to bring people into it, because more people want to be part of it when they see. But to come into something like that, they need some kind of support from high places to low places. Because at the end of the day, both the white and the black and everybody from every culture came in here to see and enjoy. So why not support so we can take it higher? Because the diversity of it, if you look at it, as we are in England, you have white people in Africa, in Nigeria, and all of it. So it's a mixture of everybody. Everybody travels to every country, everybody mixes with everybody. People intermarry, all kind of things. So the more reason why this should be celebrated as one of the big and most front runner ingredients.
Yeah, in terms of culture.
Yes.
In terms of culture, in terms of actually looking at the core value and the contribution of people from the black and ethnic minority. We have been on the front line.
Yeah.
A lot of people have copied, have learned from us.
Yeah.
They follow our pattern.
And even copy.
And even copy.
I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
True.
You can copy.
Why doesn't it have to be? It's just something to do.
Yes. I'm happy that they copy from me. They learn it and they are improving. They are getting there. Yeah. But I would like to say we've managed to actually launch our radio show, which is great. And big shout to Ogaga, our radio manager that have been working seriously to make that shit live. And this radio show will actually go further to help more people to promote their business online, to talk about, give them opportunity for interview and give a local voice to young people and the rest. So guys,
one of the things I like most about what you do as Black family is the way you capture this thing that they call in the corporate world diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
You diverse and then you include.
Yeah.
You diverse, you include.
Yeah.
It's how you do it. It's something that is natural to you. But you see, sometimes I look at the people with the class and those in this education establishment, all those high positions. But they do a professional job. But what you do, even if somebody doesn't want to call it professional, it's highly professional because it's
take a lot of skill.
Yes, and it captures everything to do with Africa.
Yeah.
From the food to the design, the clothes, the factory, everything. Yeah. The whole thing, Africa and everything. Yeah. So it's as diverse as it can.
Yeah.
And that's why
it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, I want us to celebrate the Black people.
Thank you very much.
Find out more about us as we go.
Yeah.
Follow us along, we're still going.
Yeah, we have a lot to tell you today. Okay. Over here. This is I call this a two-string dimension. It's a reverse psychology.
Yes.
Because during the slavery, they came the colonials, the masters and whoever, those that are involved in it, they came with the ship to take a lot of slaves from Africa.
Yeah, like products.
Yeah, like products. And they bring them in. And now we don't have that.
Yeah.
But it's a revised psychology whereby it's now because of the impact of colonization, because of the impact of how imperialism has actually deteriorated Africa.
Yeah.
Now you now have the African now getting the boats
and coming.
Guys, it breaks my heart, honestly. Yeah. The amount of people, this project is dedicated to those that have lost in the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah. The amount of people every day you see the number of people that die. No one. Let me tell you something. I'm going to use this opportunity to say this word. When people say, "Oh, we don't want people to call," we don't want. You see, this life is a spiral of life. Yes, exactly. Today is Africa. Tomorrow, it might be another. We don't know where it's going to be. Europe. It could be, it could be anyone. So nice to be your brother's keeper. Yeah. When people are going through tough time, do not look at them as if that is their problem, because problem does not
stay in one place.
Doesn't stay in one place. It moves like a river. Yeah. It flows.
And if you block it, it moves the other.
It moves the other way. So when people take that risk, Nobody with his right frame of mind that said, you know what, I'm going to go jump into the sea and I'm going to another place that I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
They've got to the end of the road.
Yeah.
It has got to a stage whereby they cannot
They
deal
can't
with
take
it.
it
They can't take it anymore. So we need to learn to help.
Yeah.
Not just helping, but also how do we make sure the leader in those countries are doing the right thing?
Yeah. To help
the people.
put the structure.
And when you are buying from those countries, make sure you pay them the right. So like
fair trade.
The fair trade. This is all about fair trade. This is all about people doing the right thing, giving back and supporting. Yeah. And if we're in a position, those countries that are in position to help, do not stereotype them.
Yes.
Do not marginalize them.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, what goes around.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I know when I look at it also, what I see some people falling off the boat.
Yeah.
But if you look at it on the sea, when the sea is very rough and stuff, if the boats in those days were not highly developed, people can easily follow.
Yes.
And when the boat rocks, anything can happen. So when you think about when it's overcrowded, now they do health and safety. In those days, there wasn't health and safety. You just dump them like sardines.
And those ones that will seek the throw
So you throw with the ones that sick, they don't want them to affect the other ones. But then that's a life loss as well. But now in our days, you can treat all those things, but it wasn't so before. But when you look at the whole picture and you think about it, then the question will now be, how can we input? How can we help? How can we help those that have been traumatized, that have been affected? How can we heal the land? How can we heal Africa? What can we put in place? It's not just education, because education, you can be educated and still not intelligent. You can be educated and you're not progressing. You can have a job but you're going nowhere. You're just going like a hamster on the wheel. Get the money, pay your bills, pay your rent, then start again. So all those things has to be brought into consideration if Africa is to develop. Because Africa is the resource for the gold, the silver, the diamond, and everything. Africa is the resource for the fruits. So something should be given back to the state. If not, the land will go dry one day.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And over here, we have the African rose, beautifully knitted crochet by Susan. And let me tell you something that you don't know, that majority of the roses you find in Europe are from Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yes, are from Africa.
I've heard of South Africa.
Yeah.
I've heard of Kenya.
Yeah. So they're all Africa. South Africa.
Yeah. But
so we actually dedicate this rose tapestry to those farmers who have beautified. So when you see those roses that you buy and put in your hand, remember it is actually coming from Africa.
Yeah, but
by Africa, with Africa.
Yeah. When I look at the beauty of the rose, but you forgot that somebody had to do the labor for it.
Yes.
You look at
that's like fair trade.
Yeah, you look at the first man over there when we started the exhibition and the first lady over there. But you see her carrying the fruits and it's like carrying the rose. And you see the man hunting and trying to protect his land and the thing. So whatever is beautiful, somebody makes it beautiful. Somebody does the work. And you cannot be doing a dirty work like a plumber, like a carpenter, like a builder, and waste of time. You know it. So if you talk about profession, you can be professional because it's at the desk, you sit down and stuff. But when it comes to this kind of work on the farmland, picking roses, farming and doing the fruits and stuff, you come in very simple, rugged and rough, but it's still the same person. It's just a different attire. Whatever you're dressed, your dressing shouldn't define you because that's not who you are. Or you dress for the occasion. So of course, these kind of people are farmers. You don't expect them to wear suit and tie. Just a little shirt and trousers is enough to do the work, and that's what it's about. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. My Afro hair. So this is another special one to us. As you can see, this work was actually dedicated to talk about the African braid, talk about the African hair, talk about the texture, talk about what it look like. Sometimes we see that there's an instance where there are some schools that don't like people putting on braids or have their dreads. And you can see that's the natural hair, or they want them to put it in a funny way. This is what makes us. This is what distinguishes who we are. The head and the hair of any Black or African person is actually the foundation of that person. So if you cannot tell me you want to accept me and you don't want to accept my foundation, you don't want to accept what actually make me me. So it's very important that we actually accept people for who they are. And sometimes people want to feel
You see some people want to touch. You don't touch the hair of an African because it's very personal.
Yeah.
It's very
Glory rest on.
yes, that's it. It got to do with the person inner God.
Yes.
So I want to use that word because I don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
I can explain it in there. It has to do with the person inner God, the inner spirit of that person. So that is why now you see a lot of our young boys are growing their hair, and I know there's some companies that would not like to employ African with that, but this is their person, this is their personality, this is what makes them Africans. So if you really say you are you have equality charter, you should accept people the way they look like, the way they dress, and what they stand for.
As long as they're giving you what they came from.
Yeah, it's not about the intelligence.
Yeah, it's not about the looks because everybody puts their hand how they like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a preference.
Thank you very much. Over to you.
Now I want to talk about this one. It's one of the ones I call the masterpiece, Asan the artist. This one is about Africa itself. Africa in its raw state, Africa as in the land. So if you look at Africa in the land, and I put this on the ground like a land, you see that the terrain, you can see the land on a flat piece, and you can see the different texture all across it. And then what I'm trying to tell you, the story I'm trying to tell by that is that I'm trying to say something here. I'm trying to say that there's a season called the rainy season. And when it's raining, the rain starts from the top, like it comes from heaven and it drops. And when it drops on this stuff, it goes down and it trickles down. When it trickles down in dots. In those dots, the rain drops, heavy downpour of rain. And when it pours, it goes on the rough part, and it goes through the stones and the bricks, and it goes all the way, and it gets to the place where you farm the land, where you hold the ground, where you plant the yams and the cassavas and all those things, and the roots and the groundnut and the carrots and everything. And when the rain rains heavily, it comes down the sloping ground and it gets to the bottom where the shine is. At that place, it's a plain ground and the water settles. So this is a story about the land, the farmland, the beauty, the earth, the resource. A lot of this will complement one another. This is where this one stands. Lucy, what do you have to say on this one? I don't know what you think of this.
I really love this piece of work because when I saw the description and the different technique that you actually use in producing this, when you touch it, you see the rough part of it, and then when you come down here, you see how smooth and also bumpy the place. Then when you now come into this place, it's actually blending. Then you now come back to the natural beginning of the work. Earth, I always say the mother earth, the mother nature, come with a spiral. It comes with a spiral of dimension, and each line, each segment of that spiral has different layers to it, and that's what we have gone into this work. So it's about 4 seasons. In our life, also we have 4 seasons. Sometimes we don't know how to identify those seasons, but if you know how to identify it, you get the best of your life. Everybody's life has 4 seasons, so as we have on the earth. So that, and I think you actually, and the texture of this work, I've seen a lot of your work. The thing that amazed me is how you make them to be. Somebody was saying that, how do you get them to be so big and handmade? You know what? You're very talented.
Thanks a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. Let's go.
Oh dear, this is another one. This is one of my pieces, and it took me a lot of time because for those of you that actually know me, I'm always with my African attire. Today I didn't have my headgear, but if you see me all the time, I am fully represented. This is modernity when it comes to African women. The way our attire, our headgear, our outfits, everything is elegancy. We come out, we look top to bottom, we look the match. So an African woman always want to show that elegance about them, putting our attire, putting on. Now we don't. Normally we used to see we put it only during summer. Now we get about we put it even we get customized with the winter. You know, wear your turtleneck, put in your African attire. So the beauty of an African clothes, the beauty of an African woman is in the outfits. In Africa, you have different attire. We'll come down and come back to some of the attire we're talking about. So if you look over here, that's another attire. This is a traditional Cameroon outfit. with design. And this is one of Susan. Look, you can see the pattern. You can see it's on how to sway. This is all hand-knitted design. And this tells you how African is, the elegant, the beauty, the color, everything blended in. You cannot take that away from them. Then over here, you see the sweet, beautiful Maziga. I think I have one of this one. So this is a perfect cloth for Christmas. You know, it has all the Christmas color in it. Yeah. So it's very dynamic. So African fabric, African clothes. So this is velvet. This is velvet. So although it's traditional, but it can be wear for different occasions. Because what we've done, we're actually beginning to come into contemporary, making it a contemporary look. And again, this one also feel you can wear it because it's unisex. With this design. So we're gonna move around here. We'll talk about attire. We're also gonna talk about the accessories.
Talking about the cloches.
Because sometimes people don't know what to actually
do to bring out the
beauty of their house. So we talk about accessories. So you can actually get a cushion like this, flat one, not too heavy, and put it on the wall. You can get a frame like this and put it on the wall. So over the Christmas holiday, we'll be telling you about some Christmas decoration that have some African twist to it. I know a lot of people now are beginning to go into this into the cultural. They want to have that sense of culture in their house. They want to represent, and we're happy to give you flow. We do curtains in African print. If you want to have, we also do duvet cover, pillowcase. We also do runner. Your Christmas runner on the table. We have a lot of African. So if you want to order, you can actually put your order. We have bag. We have accessory. So you can see some of the earrings. You can see I'm wearing.
Like that. Things like
so something like this.
The bangles.
So we talk about. So when you look at this map, people think, "Oh, I'm scared." Halloween.
This is
perfect to decorate your house for Halloween. But for those of you that want to actually, so this is typically my window will be having some of this. My window will be having some of this African mask on the window. So we do masquerade. Back home we do masquerade too. So over here we talk about. I'm going to start with this because this is a 3-dimension work. So let's go this way. So down here we have the stone. The stone is when COVID actually we decided to do a tapestry in partnership with GDIF. We did this tapestry called the stone. The storm was when COVID hit the community, during COVID time, because this project was done during COVID. So you can see over there, you can see those virus over there. You can see NHS, you can see the hospital, you can see the people. There's a lot of people coming in and out of the hospital. You get to a stage, the hospital was full, the ambulance could not take anymore. The doctors and the nurses were overwhelmed, and they started sending people back. They said they're coming back. Patients, they're going in and coming out. And if you see in the directly under the hospital there, what was happening in the community, you can see graveyard. So these are people that died during COVID. That's a lot of funerals.
During that time, they were saying, "Oh, you can't take more than 2 people or 3 people."
Some people could not even be there. You can see the way we did the coffee. The coffee was just a single wood because parents were not even allowed to choose their coffee for their loved one. It was a very sad moment. And we decided to say it is important that we capture some of this scenario. Then when you come down, this is when it becomes very heavy in the community, and everyone was asked to stay at home. And then people were coming out. The other time people come out is when they come to clap for NHS, clap for NHS,
do some shopping.
And it was a great isolation. And people were really finding it very depressed. And down here you have the church, the mosque, the GP. All this building was empty. People could not attend, people could not network. But if I would say that, even though this building was empty, we discovered that it was the people. The people themselves are the one that actually make this building. Without the people, there's no church, there's no GP, there's no mosque. So the community actually show who they are during that COVID time. The coming together of the community, the support the community gives to each other was actually amazing. And one thing we find that during the lockdown, all the greenery was flourishing.
And even the sky was clear.
The sky was clear.
The air was clear. Everything.
The bed and everything. For the first time, I could hear the sound of the bed in the air. It was amazing. It was amazing because we slowed down the traffic. So that tells you the rush for life. There's no need for that. And so we need to save our planet.
Yeah.
So what happened in that COVID, though it was a very difficult time, but it was also good for the planet Earth.
Yeah,
Because to replenish. So down here, you can see we are on the cars, we are fine. There was fewer cars on the road.
Yeah.
Reduced pollution.
Yeah.
And this is what the storm is. So there's a detail of work. We have about 5 different artists that actually work on this with their crochet skill, craft skill, recycling skill. It was a major piece of work. And over here, we call it the voiceless matter. You can see some of what happened. The voiceless was wrong because we decided to that because the inequality in the system. Although they said COVID make us to know that, oh, people were suffering. But we did say that even before COVID, people were suffering.
Right, yeah.
There was a lot of inequality. What COVID did was just to bring it to the next level for people to see. The only way people could actually have their voice was through social media, Zoom, Facebook. Social media become the order of the day. People were going there to exchange words. You can see on the Zoom call, that also talk about the poverty in the community. Those from the low income were most of disadvantaged because you can see some people could not even have a tablet or phone to use. Our office was also used as a place for people to come and learn, and we have to employ a cleaner to actually clean so that students can use our laptop and all those things. You can see on this Zoom, there were 2 children using 1 laptop. So they couldn't even, some families did not even have access to internet. And then over here, we see the rainbow signs, we had the NHS, we had the face mask. Some people were not happy having a face mask because some children didn't like it.
Some of them couldn't breathe well.
They couldn't breathe well because they're children with special needs. And then if you see that, you see and during that time you had the Black Lives Matter. We actually raised that awareness. School were empty. Fewer students were able to go to school. You see the 2 doves at the top there represent the sign of peace and the sign of good news. And this good news was coming from the community. It was the community that was taking good news to the people. They were encouraging people, helping people with feeding them, shopping and all the rest. The community shows who they are. And that's why I said it is only the community that can heal themselves. So
and it was free.
So the importance of community, the importance of volunteering. So that was captured in this tapestry. And the last one here that we did was the healing tree. The healing tree actually signified that you can see all the flag that COVID actually affected the whole world. There was nobody that was spared. Every country was affected. But one thing that we raised that when the vaccination was given out, it didn't go around. It didn't go around. When the palliative was given out, it didn't go around. Support didn't go around enough. Although COVID affected everyone, but the support that some Western countries have, other African countries, developing countries did not have it. And we said that shouldn't happen. The support that was available was not at the healing tree. Why was it that the healing tree should be accessed by all? There's a lot in abundance. In fact, we have enough in this world to go around. Sometimes some people tend to holoby it. Like I use the African language. Some people tend to hold on to it. But look at the healing tree. It's a flourish tree. The way that the world has been created, it has enough to feed to go around. So that the selfishness of some people would like to keep it. So look at the healing tree. It's full of fruit, it's full of life. We say it should have a direct access. The whole world should feed on it, not one particular part of the world feeding on it.
So we don't throw away food.
So this is how it's a 3-way dimension tapestry that tell the great story about. And this one right here is about the African heritage. So you can see one way through when you go into the African village, the African community back home, you have a one-way through gate. And the first thing you see is the city center, the market, the community. Then you go to see more of the village people. You can see some of the texture. We use the African background as a layer, the people in the community. It's a big community. The African village is always a big community. They all look after each other. No matter how we see things all over the place, they look after each other. And if you look at the top, we have the kitchen, different pattern of kitchen. You have the clay, the mud kitchen. You have the.
And can you see in different bowls and
plates,
spoons, baskets?
Foods. Food is very important.
It's too important to be. It's what makes people happy.
Yeah.
We come together all the time to
We
eat. We're
eat.
not celebrating Friday to celebrate
Yeah.
Christmas, Easter, New Year, whatever time, but always something. There's always food in that.
Exactly. And when you go to an African home, the first thing they give to you is not even water, it's food.
Yes.
Because there's a part of Africa that you don't know where people are coming from and you don't know where they're going to go to.
Yeah.
So the least you can give to them, feed them.
So they have energy.
So that they have energy to embark on their journey. So food play a big role. That's why when we do events and some venues don't allow us to bring our food, it hurts us.
Yeah.
Because food is part of who we are.
Yes.
Our food is some people say African food is not healthy. That's a big fat lie.
Yes.
Because our food has the eat well table, everything, the vegetable, the carbohydrate, everything is perfect in it. And at the top, you talk about the foresty. Africa with a rich forest.
Yeah. Reserve. Yeah. And the thing about the forestry is if you look at it, the greens are so powerful. Everything grows in the land, so fertile. So from sweet corn that you grow in 6 months to yam that grows over a longer period of time, to cashew nuts, to mangoes, all the fruits, everything grows in Africa. And so because of the richness of how everything grows in Africa, at different times, at different seasons, we have different fruits, from the mango to the guava to the pineapple to the pawpaw. You just name it. It's everything. There's richness, and everything is what brings balance there. The fruits are rich. The plants are rich in healing. The materials of the plants are so powerful to healing sickness like herbs. And so when you look at all these things and the spices and everything about Africa is just sweet. The land, the river, the everything. It's such a beautiful thing. I want to ask you about this.
So this last one is called African and the Solar System. This tapestry is blend of the rich cultural heritage with the vast aspects of the solar system. At the center, you can see you have all the different planets. We have the raffia actually dropping into it. Raffia signifies peace in our community, and we use the raffia to also build the solar system. And one of the reasons why we did it, we went to a project that was done in the museum, and we find out that no history about the African and the solar system was actually mentioned. And I said, this is wrong. This is a wrong information. We need to tell our story. Yeah. Africa is one of the greatest astrology in our community. Yeah. So Africa use the solar system for everything. Yeah. The moon, the sun, the planet. So fishing, everything. Even before people started registering their date of birth, we use the circle of the moon. We count the market day. Yes. People were born different seasons. They use the thing to calculate from the sun. What hour it is. Exactly. And when the tide goes. So for you not to actually have our history, we said no. We say it is important. We said sun feature, the raffia texture, making the sun ray, why the earth decorates with interior crochet pattern. We presented African deep connection to nature and craftsmanship. The other planets are moving into Ankara and Kente design. Added the vibrant one, crochet access, tracing the orbit line of the planet, creating a sense of movement. The tapestry is a mix of paint, raffia, crochet, fabric, paint design, reflecting the link of Africa into comedy order with a nature of mineral material like raffia dragging the piece into the earth, becoming an organic beauty. Africa is a center of culture. I want to say something about when you talk about the African beauty, texture, and the feel. I get this feel of it when you look at it in the night, you can see, and you cannot see very clear, you cannot see very far. Yeah. But if you look in the sky in those days, you can see the stars, you can see everything. It's not so anymore. No. But in those days, you can see everything. So what I see here is the beauty of how you use this fabric. Yeah. That is very rich to bring out the solar system. Yes. In the woolly context, different colors, different positions. And then you have the racket and the African fabric dropping them to symbolize how the African people use all these things as part of their tradition. The tradition and day-to-day life. And all those day-to-day lives, they are still able to get everything accurate without this technology of the that tells you how beautiful and what's coming out of Africa. They say that Africa is one of the greatest Astrology.
if not the greatest.
So this welcome you to the contemporary.
Yeah, this is the highlight. This is the highlight of the session. You see, with this one, this one is just, I call it a masterpiece for many reasons. This is the kind of work that when you have in your house, you make a fence around it so the children don't go there. Because this is a masterpiece. And having looked at how Lucy came about all these things, you see it round, but really it's a tire.
It's a tire.
So it's recycled.
So we use this opportunity to show you the detail of this one. So if you lift this thing up.
Okay, yeah.
So over here,
you can see the beauty.
This is the tire. It has a wheel. So this would be a very easy way to can roll on the rock, can roll on any flat surface, and we actually cover it up with wood, and we have the fabric to go across it.
Yeah.
And when I put this down, and I open it, this was knitted by Susan to tell you how creative.
See that?
You see, this was knitted by Susan. This was knitted by, and I actually this is the tire that we woven into this, and all you have the texture of the
it's well padded.
It's well padded to make it soft, and then we have the
African fabric to decorate it
with
wood as a
base.
Covering.
Yeah, cover it up. And with
a lot of work went into this.
A lot of work. This took us about 4 months to actually put the details to create this together. And one good thing about this, you can order for more than 5 of this.
Any design
to complement your work. So all this,
color of your couch.
Yes.
So this is really, I would call this a dress. So just wear a dress on there.
I think the front of the back. Yeah, that's the back.
Okay, so just dress it on.
Yeah.
So wear your clothes back. So we are wearing the clothes back. Well, you see how beautiful this is. We can change it. We can do all kind of stuff with this. And so that's what this is about. But the one that blows me away, this one is great. But if you see this last one, it will blow you away. I mean.
And over here, we have the contemporary, we have the glass, we have the sophisticated one, and this can be used perfectly for your center table.
Yes.
So this is a round glass.
That's the center table.
That's the center table. I'm going to hand this over to them. And you can actually see the texture of the tire in there. You can see the texture of the. This is recycled to the highest level. Yeah. And then if you come to the back, it's well padded, contemporary art using big time recycling. And this one is where we use the raffia to knit this. This is a big time raffia, different colors, and then we start wrapping it around. And this can be also used as a storage.
Yes, you can put something in.
Put something in. And actually.
And if you come close, you can see that there's some pushings.
Yeah.
That she used to design the bottom.
So you can see.
It's very powerful.
Yeah. So this work is really amazing.
But there's something that you didn't talk about, Lucy, that I want to talk about to do with this one. If you come close and you see the detail of this stuff, I want you to come close because this is where the real work is.
This is the blanket stitch.
This is where, look at that, that's the blanket stitch.
This took us 9 months.
Did you hear that?
To knit this. So this is one of a kind. You can see the interior blanket stitch raffia woven into a long rope.
Yeah.
And then I think we wove about how many yards? I can't even remember. So many.
You want to count the yards, just and you walk it out. But let me say something. Let me say something to your people just as I'm talking to Lucy at the same time. You see, if somebody works for 9 months, how much do you pay them? I mean, we're talking about 9 months, almost a year. So we're talking of something close to, let's say, 30,000, 40,000. So what do you think this is supposed to be? What you work out the maths.
Yeah.
But I want you to also think about it. That's just part of the work.
Yeah.
Plus the inside, plus the outside, for the heavyweight, plus the washing, for the glass, for everything. Think about what you're getting. This is the masterpiece. This is a center table. This is what people come to your house and when they look at it, it stands out. So where did you get it from? It stands out. But crowning it up, Lucy decided to put one of my artwork on it to bring out the real beauty. See, this can be here. It can also be inside the box. It can be right inside the tag. But the issue about this is that if you look at the details that go with this creation, how she brought in the fabric, how she did the wrapping, how she tied it, there's so much detail. It takes so much time, so much effort. This, for me, is a crowning growth. It's the real top notch of this exhibition. It's outstanding. But generally, what I'll say to everything about this exhibition for me was great, and I hope you enjoyed it. Lucy, what do you have to say?
Thank you all. I'm going to start by this is the highlight. This is the highlight of our exhibition. I'm going to say thank you all for your time, for all of those that have taken their time, that come all the way. Some of them Manchester, Ireland, London, East London, British community. Yes. It's a big shout out to them. They came out in numbers. People from the Greenwich community. This is Greenwich. Thank you for tweeting, for retweeting.
Yeah, thanks.
So I think I'll forget today. Thank you all for all your support. Big shout out to Royal Borough.
Great. Yeah.
We saved that one for the last one. Save it for the last one. Big shout out because part of the Royal Borough of Greenwich Black History 365 Fund actually support us to make this into reality. Giving us the opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to put all our artwork together and open it to the public. You know, we are your critic friend.
Yes. I do to your critic friend, but we just want to hear you to your house.
So that's a big shout out to the cultural team for their great support. David and the team, Victoria and all of them that are out there. Big shout out to Councillor Anne-Marie for your great support to us, always there, always giving us one word of encouragement. The leader of the council, Councillor Anthony Okereke, for your inspiration, for actually being a role model there.
And the mayors.
The mayor.
And then, Sama, I want to thank you, Prime Minister.
Big shout out to what's it called? All the councillors from Plumstead, Councillor Edda, Councillor Santa, and what's the name? Chicks. And all our MP for all your support that you're giving to us, Abner and the rest. So thank you very much. It's such an amazing time. And to crown it all, 10 size studio.
Yes, 10 size.
Feel, I need my crown off for that.
I take my hat off.
Because he has been a great support. Making sure that everything wrong will come into reality.
So to bring it to an end. And we thank you, Lord, for being part of us, part of this journey.
Yes.
But to help us, let's take it to the next level. Maybe there will be a place where you can recommend us to showcase this. So this exhibition have somewhere else to go to. Maybe there's some other support you can bring from outside, from inside, from anywhere where you can fund us. Whatever it is, we are open. Just reach out to Black people and carry us along.
Like we say, as we take this, because today we're taking everything out, putting it back to the storage, and we're open to schools. Schools need to children. Then for me,
we do workshops.
Let us know where you want us to package this item and take it there.
And give us your support.
Give us your support. For those that want to fund us to do more, somebody was talking about running this project in school alongside with the children.
That will run. This is going to run this. It has to take some weeks. It's not just
having them and having this project with them. So we're looking forward to do that. And like I said, myself and Asa, so we're open. We can run workshop. We can.
Come to your schools, we can host it to our environment. We can get a community center, we can run workshops for those weeks or those months, whatever it does. But you know, most of you have the facilities or the money or the venue where you can bring us in. Do what needs to be done, and we can collaborate that way. And but you have big organizations, corporate organizations, bring us in, we can add value that way.
Exactly. Hotels that want some of this. All these things are for sale.
They are for sale. Everything is for sale. All I want to say.
If you think you love, that's why we went to take our time to go around. If any of this artwork inspire you, and you want them in your school, in your office, in your home, or you want to donate it somewhere, reach out to us and we can work out something. So, and if you have any specific artwork that you want to, we can do it. We're up to the task. There's nothing we cannot do. We're up to the task. Bring your story and we'll make it into a tapestry.
Exactly. And I'll say one more thing before you go. Because this is the highlight, I can imagine this being an auction. Maybe we can raise $500,000. Help me make it up. Let's go.
Thank you all and good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. That's been a great